Now, on this episode, we want to see how to implement cart system. So, meaning like that I can go to a specific product page. I can add this product to cart, okay? And I can go to another product. I can add it to cart. And this, I will be able to see how many items are in the cart. And I can click on this and it will show me all the product with the price, okay? And here, down here, it will show the total price for all this product. So of course you can add shipping cost and all that, but I try to keep it simple. Okay, so here also you can add quantity. So you can say I want 3 Samsung, okay, or I can just want 1, but I want 3 jeans, okay, and the total price will be updated, okay. And you can remove these, okay, and say like I don't need this, and you're remaining with 1. Or you can also remove this and you will be directed to the home page, because you cannot proceed or do anything if the cart is 0. Okay, so that's what we want to implement, and we will use a couple of packages and to see how we can achieve this. But in the end, this is supposed to be offline, meaning if you add let's say 1 jeans and it's available here, and you decide to close this app and do other stuff on another app, maybe when you open the app again, this 1 item of jeans must be available, okay? So you can proceed with checkout or add other items. So we can implement offline storage with the use of Hive. We can see how can we achieve that, okay? So let's get on it. Before continuing, you have to have a couple of packages that can use to implement Hive. So make sure you have Hive Flutter and you have Hive generator, because we're going to use that to create adapters. You see what are the adapters. So Hive Flutter and Hive generator, I think that's all. Make sure also you have build runner, but I know you have it because we use that to build, to do code generation, okay? So our project, we go with feature based, so it means we will create a feature for cart itself, okay? So you go to feature and you add a feature called cart, and okay, so in cart we will have a D for adding all those dependency injection. We will see we will have model, okay, for our cart, okay, and then we will have services, okay, and then we will see that what's all about services. We will also have presentation, okay, then this is where we'll put all our UI. Okay, now we will create also cart injection container, okay, injection container to that, okay. Then we can call this future void cart injection container, okay. Now, what are the steps to implement offline storage with Hive? Okay, so the first thing, you need to set up Hive by using Hive Flutter, okay. So I am going to the main injection container, and I'm going to set up Hive first itself, hive.init Flutter, Okay, this is the first step. We need to make sure Hive is registered on the, so this is like they take all the heavy boilerplate code that we used to write when we are using, for example, SQLite. So by using Hive in Flutter, you will have they will manage by configuring all the necessary things for you to be able to implement offline storage for both Android, iOS, and I think for web also they support. Okay, so this is the first step, and the next step is we have to define the object itself, the model itself. So let's say if you've worked with SQLite, you have to define something like insert. To define the database itself, you have to use SQLite itself, SQL syntax and SQLite. But for here, we just define the model, and then we create generators, and then Hive will take care of the rest from serializing and deserializing the model itself and giving all the necessary information that you need. So we need to define a model. Okay, we are dealing with cart, so you go to model and then you say cart.dat. Okay, and there's an extension, I think it's called Hive. I think I have it also. It's called Hive Flutter Hive snippets, which will a building model class for Hive. They allow you to write Hive objects in record time. So this is very good and very nice. It gives us very good way of implementing models very quick. So I will define the model itself, and then I will explain to you after that. So I think you can say Hive, which extend Hive object. Okay, and here you can call, I'm going to call cart items. Okay, and the type ID. Okay, let me write this first and then I will explain to you. It's 0. And okay, so what we need, so we have an int. Okay, it's the product ID. Okay, we have Hive. We can use this snippet to define the data type. So we have Hive string. I'm looking for Hive string. Okay, ID is 1, and then hit tab. You say a name, and then I'm looking for Hive also string. It's 3. It's an image. Okay, and also I'm looking for Hive double. Okay, it's 4, and then it's price, and then I think I'm looking also so we're defining what cart model will contain of, and we're looking for int, and it's 5, and this will hold the quantity of that for each of those. Okay, and then lastly we will generate constructor. Okay, and that's it. Okay, so let me explain what is all of this and why do we need to do this. Okay, here we're defining class that will be used for local storage with Hive. Okay, so when we say Hive type, it means we are trying to make sure mark the class as Hive object and assign it a unique type ID. So this is required for Hive to differentiate between different object types. Okay, because we extend this as a Hive object. Okay, and Hive field. So you have to make sure if you are going to define another Hive object, you have to give a unique ID. So you can start with the 0 and make sure you add maybe 1, or create a simple logic for giving unique IDs for all Hive type. Okay, and Hive field assign a unique index for each field for efficient serialization. Okay, so and in the end, this class, after we run code generation, which will be used, it will be with the use of Hive generator and the build runner. It will create an adapter. Okay, so an adapter is responsible for converting this cart item object into a format that Hive can store, like serializing that and converting the store data back into a cart item object. Okay, so by this, it's very easy to add items, retrieving items, deleting items. Okay, you don't have to go and do all those complex SQL stuff, okay, which you will normally do maybe if you're using SQLite. Okay, so Hive simplifies everything and it's very easy to use. Okay, so we will run code generation with the help of that run build runner, and it will create cart item adapter. Okay, and we will have to register that cart item adapter, and with that we can be able to use cart items on our own way of adding those items to Hive and retrieving those items, so you don't have to deal with any complex stuffs that you have to implement if you're implementing offline. Okay, so this is a beauty of Hive. It's very easy to set it up and it's very easy to implement offline storage. So let's wait for it to be done. Okay, cart item adapter. So this is what it created, and all those stuffs that you don't have to worry about. Okay, we don't use cart item adapter, we use cart item itself, so it simplifies in a way that it will be very easy to use. Okay, so after making sure a cart item adapter has been generated, you will have we are using gedit for dependency injection, so we will register the adapter. Okay, you must register an adapter. Okay, otherwise it will be very hard to interact with Hive and retrieve all those information that you need. Okay, so Hive register adapter. Okay, the type is of cart item. Okay, I need to do one thing here, and in cart we have to create a cart.dat. Okay, and we want to export all those. We don't want to export. Then we have dir conjugation container, and then here we will in model also I think okay let's follow the best practice here in model.dat and export cart.dat, and then in cart here also export model and model.dat. Okay, and also here what we're doing, we need to register that adapter cart items. Okay, and it's a cart item adapter. Okay, so with this also, the last part is to tell Hive to open the box. Okay, and then we will say the name of that box. Okay, so with this, it means anytime we want to interact with cart by getting items, adding items to this box, we will have access to that. Otherwise, if you don't do this, it means anytime you want to access the box is not open. Okay, and okay, so I think with this is good for we can start to see how can we use Hive to add those a cart, getting those cart, deleting, updating, setting cart very easily. Okay, so make sure you define your model with all the necessary things that you think they are needed. We will need this to have that cart by the end, which contains all this information, and then you register it. It doesn't have to be you get it. You will find this. But by this means anytime you can find a different way to register this adapter and open the box, not necessarily this way. And then the next step it will be how to interact with Hive. So we will go to service, and then we will create cart service. Okay, do that, and we will export that cart service. So we'll create another file, service.dat, and then we will export. Okay, cart service.dat. Good. And then we go to cart, and then we will export services, cart service.dat. Okay, so now here in class we will create a class cart service, and then we will see how to interact with Hive, with our cart, with the use of Hive. So remember, we already opened the box, so we can now interact with our cart. So this will be like a database. How can you call this? Not a database name. It's like oh, I'm having a hard time to find a good name. Okay, let's go. Let's continue with. I think what's going on. I don't know what's going on. Why I'm not getting the right name for it. So now let's go to cart service. Okay, and see how can we interact with our cart. Okay, itself by getting all the items, deleting, updating, and also clear everything from the cart table. Okay. Hive open the box means it will load the data from storage into memory, so allowing fast read and write operation. Okay, and even if the box is not created, it will create for us. Okay, so with that it means we can store, retrieve, update, and delete data. Okay, using that open box. Okay, so you need to specify that, and also make sure you have to await to ensure it loads before you can interact with it. So now let's go to cart service. I've added all those functions, method, method, so that we can speed up, and it's self-explanatory. So I will explain each and one of those methods, and we can continue to the qubit part. Okay, so here we have a save cart, which will accept a parameter of cart item. Okay, and it will use the open box, okay, to save that item. So with await.add, and then it will save, and then it will return for us the saved item. Okay, and the same for get all cart. It will go to the box and get all those cards that have been saved. Okay, and it will retrieve us to us, and it will return to us the list of cart item. And update, it will do the same. It will cart.put cart key, and then it will change those values based on that cart key. Okay, and lastly it will save. And delete items, just delete. You have to specify the current index, and then it will delete for you. Delete all. It will just clear the entire box. Okay, so those are just the I created the cart service, so this will be responsible to interact with the Hive box itself, and then we will move to create a simple qubit that will interact with these items, so we can separate a bit and make sure each class is responsible for doing necessary thing in a minimal way. Okay, so I didn't want to put all of this in Qubit and managing in terms of dealing with the box itself, and then also dealing with managing the state in the front end side. So now with this, we are good. We can continue, and the next step, it will be to create a simple qubit. Okay, so the qubit itself, it will be, we will use that qubit to manage the state of the cart. Okay, so let's create that qubit, and then we will continue with it and make sure that we manage all necessary things based on the UI which I showed you in the end, so we can have the final cart functionality implemented. Sorry if I'm going pretty really quick, and the reason is we have so many things we need to cover, so I'll try some of them to just explain what is really happening, and so we can move quickly because we have a lot of features that we have to complete. Okay, so I've created a simple Cart Cubit. Okay, so Qubit is like a simple version of simplified version of block. So it doesn't have event, so that's the biggest difference. There's no event, so everything, it will come from the UI and you will emit the state. So in the UI part, you just call this method inside, and you don't need to trigger an event. So there's no event at all. So this is very simplified way of dealing with state using block without having to deal with events. Okay, so for our scenario in Cart, it's very simple thing, and we don't want to complicate it. That's why I choose to use just qubit. Okay, so this is simple Cart Qubit, which extend qubit, and here you will normally use the state, but we only dealing with cart itself, so I've added that just it's a list of cart item, and we are going to communicate with cart service to in order for cart service, we know it's responsible to dealing with the box itself of cart, and we don't have to deal with that. So we will communicate with cart service to handle to make sure we complete the entire business logic. So in super, it means by default we will have an empty list, so when this Cart Qubit loads. Okay, so we have this method add to cart. So what it's doing, it's taking the cart item itself, and it's communicating with cart service to save the cart, and then it after adding to cart, it also make sure it get all those cart from the box, and it's here we're saying final new state is this list of cart which are from the value itself here, meaning we will have a list of cart items and it will emit new state. So after adding to cart, we are going to also to get that cart, okay, and also we'll go to emit that, with meaning that item will be added as a new item on this list of cart items on our state. Okay, and also we have read all cart, so this will go to cart service, and cart service will communicate with the box itself. Okay, read get all cart itself, okay, which return for us the list of all cart that are available in our box, and then if the value is not empty, it will emit the new value. So in Qubit, we are dealing mostly with emit. We don't have event or any kind of types of event to deal with. Okay, and this is responsible to get how many items are in the cart. So we define a simple variable here with a type of int dot items, and we use for loop. So each items that is available in the cart, we will use this to multiply, add, and at the end we'll have all those items. So in state, it means in this list of cart items, so it will loop all and then give to us how many items are in the cart. Okay, Okay, so we have update quantity, and this is responsible for the scenario where you want to update, you want to add more quantity or decrease or reduce more quantity from a particular cart itself. So remember, we can have jeans, we can have phones, we can have anything that you find it you want to purchase it. Okay, so what we're doing here, we're getting all those items first that are available in our cart, in our state, and we take the current one, which we will get from this, which we will supply its quantity itself, and then we'll get the new quantity that the user added. So if it was 1 and then the user added 2, okay, and then we emit the new state for that particular cart product itself, I mean. And then what we are doing here for cart items, and then like new state of here we are new state dot we're just doing some filtering cart items. If first new state where element product id is equal to item dot product id, and then we update that. Okay, so we get product item dot product id from item itself here. Okay, so we will see how do we add those parameters to ensure that we update a specific product, the quantity that the user has added, or if he wants 3 item quantity from one product, then we have to ensure that even Hive has that kind of information so that we can store those necessary information for that particular product. And also we have calculate total price, which basically it will loop all of the items that are available in the cart and add the total price by multiplying price with the quantity itself. Okay, so in the end, if one product is 1,000 and another product is 2,000, so 1,000 plus times 2,000, no, sorry, if the product if the product itself is 1,000 and we take the quantity itself and then we loop all of them in order to get the total price for every item that has been added to the cart. Okay, so that this is what it's doing. And for remove items, we check all the items to cart, we emit new state, we remove that items with the index that we supply, and then after that we delete that cart also to the database. So if each in one of these methods, they're responsible to communicate with the state, get the information that is currently in the state, and also updating the cart the box itself on Hive to ensure we have clear communication and nothing has been left out. So that's why we see every time we deal with state, get the value, manipulate the value, and also manipulate the value also itself on the box itself. So in the end, the box will have we have the right information, also the state also will have the right information. So if it's not going in well in your mind, you can just pause this video and review in each and one of these. Okay, so these are the main responsibilities to update and to manipulate the information that are available in the cart, and also to notify the box itself of what is happening on our UI. Okay, so with this we can define our UI, and we can see how we use this method to interact. How do we interact with this method, and also to have the right and good implementation of cart. Okay, so now with cart, this is just this all. With the only thing now we need to do is to make sure we go to the cart injection and we register the cart service itself. So we have locator dot register let's see singleton Okay, so this is a cart service. I don't think if I cart service is from which, no, it's not supposed to be there. Okay, so cart service, and also we need to register the qubit itself. So register factory, and then the type is Cart Cubit. Okay, Cart Cubit. We've seen how to deal with a Hive to retrieve all the information of the cart. We've seen how to create a qubit for manipulating our cart, and the next part is to see how we can achieve this. Okay, so let me minimize it because it's making it, how can I put I can move it. Why? Okay, so we want to achieve this. Okay, so this will be the screen for interacting with our cart. There will be the design, which shows the list of items that have been added to cart, the price, and the buttons to add the quantity, or decreasing or minimizing or decreasing the quantity of a specific product. Okay, so also this will it's a symbol for removing, and also the bottom here we see the price, meaning this will show the total price, and that's just simple as it is. Okay, so we want to achieve this. Okay, and also we will see how to, on the home page, how to show how many items are in the cart, and I think that will be I think by that we will be done, and also we will see how to add item to cart. Okay, so I think by that we'll be done with the cart feature. Okay, so now I want you to show the page. This will be the page with the screen, which will, let me minimize this, which will show all the items. Okay, so this is just a simple bottom sheet which will show this total and also the checkout button, and this one. Okay, this part, and also there's, okay, so it's a row. The total will add this to be dynamic based on the items that have been added, and there's a list view. Also it will be dynamic. We will show all these items. Okay, and also there's a cart item card, which I just extracted to define, to design and code this this part. Okay, so this will be the cart item card. Okay, the image, the name of the product, the price, and also the buttons to add the quantity if you want to add more quantity on that product. So this will be the design for it. It's just a row. Okay, with some image design, and also some space with the row also here, which will show the price, and the buttons, quantity button also here. Okay, here we will show the price, and also the quantity here will be dynamic, how many quantities you are selecting. And the last part is the quantity button, which you will just be able to, we pass thus the tab to interact, so we can have this as a function that we can use. Okay, so if you want to add something that can be placeable and interacting with it, you use void callback or function. Okay, so we just pass this, and the symbol here is just for the plus and the minus here, that's all. Okay, so and then there's mechanism also to export all these widgets. We're using this, and then Also here, it means on the cart, in the presentation, we export also those, and then in the cart itself, we export this. So it means everything we will use this file to have access to all these pages and widgets. Okay, so what would be the first step? Okay, so the first step is to go to product, I believe, detail, and here is where we will start to add this item to cart. Okay, so we will design here on the bottom sheet we will add the button itself, and then once we click that button, we will add that particular item to cart. So let's start and finalize this cart feature. To add all those necessary information we need from the Cart Cubit. So we will add the Cart Cubit. We'll have access to the Cart Cubit. We need to have access to the Cart Cubit, and I can use context.watch and use Flutter block. And with this, we can start to get all the information in cart. For example, here in total, this will be the first part. Here we will add the total price. Okay, so how can we do that? We have the function. Okay, we have the function for it. Cart Cubit, calculate total price, and okay, we can say to string as fixed to, okay, and then we can put, okay, as we do, we put in $. Did I forget? Yeah, we put in $. Okay, so here, this function, what's doing, it's giving us the total price of all the items in cart by looping through all of them and do this kind of calculation using times the price with the quantity, and then all of those will have the total price for all the items in the cart. Okay, so this is the first part. And here also I want to take this as it is, and also check out. We can use checkout. We'll show them. So when the design will see the final, which you do, it will do checkout, then total price. Okay, so yeah, and then I think the next part is to here we will have access to Cubit, so Cart Cubit itself, and then so we can do Cart Cubit, and then the state.length. Okay, so it means here we will have the total length of all the items, because Cart Cubit itself is a list of cart items. Okay, and here we are passing the index. We go to Cart Cubit, it's a cart item card, and then we will add all those information, the price, the image. So we're just extracting that and putting it in its own, so we can add all those necessary things. Okay, so I will just go back here and then copy this Cart Cubit, and then go back, and then we have Cart Cubit itself. We need to, and I put it inside context because I want to use context of watch, and then final items. Here I want to like take only the specific index itself, and then with that it means I can have specific index from these items, and with that I can start to have information of only one item itself. I don't want to have, so that's why I'm taking this particular specific index with the help of index itself, where we are passing it on the item card. And here we're passing item.image itself because it's we will see we have a list of images, but we will see how just to get one of them. I think we used array API of first, and then we just take one image. It's okay for now to have only one image, but if you need, you will see the mechanism to add all images, and using swiper maybe to show all of the images, but it's not necessary because you just want to know which image, which product. So the image itself, one image is okay. Okay, so here we pass the name itself, okay, and then we have the name, and then we will see here all the function. We will see how to interact with them. I just want to pass the information, and here on this size box we have inside row we have item.quantity. Here we pass item.quantity to string, okay, and then here it's the price itself, okay, so item.price to string, okay. Now the first thing is close. So in close, if you can see on Cart Cubit itself, we will use remove item. So this is the last part, which this one, okay. So what it will do, it will get all those cart items and give that items from on the new state, and we will remove that with the help of remove at on that for the UI. So this will be specific for the UI itself, and then after removing it from the UI, we will also remove it from the Hive box itself, okay. So we will remove that, and then we will emit a new state. So once we delete, it will remove that, it will remove the item also in the box, and then it will emit a new state. So we'll have a fresh new state with the remaining items. So with that, we can go to cut item, and then here we will just have we just give access of it. So it will be remove item. We have the index itself because we passed it on, and then here we will remove that, okay. So that will be the first, and then we will go to how to do with the quantity of adding and deleting or decreasing the items itself on the box for that specific item. So let's see how to add the items by adding more quantity, or to decreasing the quantity of that specific product, okay. So let's see how to do that also. See how to decrease or decreasing the quantity. So what we need to do here is if item itself, okay, if item.quantity is greater than 1, okay, we are in the minus symbol. So then Cart Cubit dot update quantity, and then we pass the index. It wants also the current quantity of that items, and then we do -1 and the item itself, okay. So if you can see here itself, take the entire state and the new state based on the current index.quantity itself. We pass it as a new quantity, and then emit new state, and then cut item new state.element where the product ID is equal to item.product ID, and also it update that cut item on the Hive itself, okay. So when you put 3 quantity for specific product, it will also do that for the Hive itself, and also for the UI itself by emitting state. So this is what we are doing because we are this is for when you are decreasing, okay? Else we want to just remove that, because what is happening is the user will be decreasing and it will reach 0, and then 0 means there's no items anymore. You just need to remove that from the UI, okay? We are done with the minus, and then we go to the plus, and then what we do here is pass the index item +1. We keep adding more items, and then we specify that. So with this, now we are good, okay? It will handle everything for us. Now, adding and delete and removing quantities is good. The last thing before seeing how do we actually adding those items on to cart is to go to the home screen, and then home sleeve up bar, and then we have this badge which I use the package. It's just for, it shows this, you see, in a very nice way, okay? But also you can achieve this with the use of stack, okay? You normally don't need to put a lot of packages because it's also achievable with the use of stack widget, and then you put positioning and all those stuff, okay? So also here we want to have access to the Cart Cubit, okay? So Cart Cubit, Cubit context.watch. Should I copy it? Yeah, man, just copy it. I think there's also a better way to have access with this, but I don't know. That's a okay. Here, node settings. I want to Flutter block itself, and also the Cart Cubit itself. So here we want to show how many items have been added to that cart. Okay, so you do that by you wrap this square Cart Cubit. We have this get total items in cart itself. What it will do, it will always check on the state of how many items and then return to us. So that is what it's doing. So we will have, if we add 2 items, it will show there's the 2 items on cart. Okay, and also this icon, I want it to be tappable because I want the user to be able to tap on this and go to the page, the cart page. You can use icon button, but I don't know. I've seen some. It adds some padding, but it's also good. Okay, cartcubit.state.isEmpty. Okay, then don't tap on it, and if it's good. Not navigator. So what is happening if the cart itself is empty? Just don't do anything. Okay, else then just navigate the user to use go name. Navigate the user to the cart itself, cart page. I don't know if I add that. Okay, so now let's call it, and then I will cart view. Okay, cart view dot name. Okay, there's no cart view. Okay, so let's do this quickly, and we need to go to app. I want to copy this cart page. Okay, can go here. This is called cart view. Yeah, cart view itself, and then go back to app router. Okay, go back to app router, and then just go router, and then leave it here. And then copy this. Just copy it, and I do another route. Then and this will be the cart view. Cut it, and then remove all this. We don't need it. Okay, and then Don't need extra, we don't not passing anything. And then go to route itself, define the cart view. Okay, then here just go cart view, and then cart view, and then here we import the cart itself. Okay, so what we've done here is just some user experience stuff, like don't go to cart if there's no cart and there's no any item in cart, and that's all. Okay, and also here it shows the total, how many items are in the cart. So with this we add all the information that is necessary for the UI part, so they can see, the user can see everything, what is happening, how many items, adding more quantity, removing that removing the item from the cart, navigating to cart, and the last part will be how actually do we add that item to cart, and we do that in product detail. Okay, and add item to cart here itself. Okay, so here we will add that item to cart. Okay, so we'll see how to add item to cart, and also how to check if a product is available on cart. So because you don't want if the item is already in the cart, then you need to show or give the user some awareness that the item is already in cart, so there's no need to interact with it. Just go to the cart, and if you want to add more quantity, just tap the plus button. Okay, so let's see how do we add those specific product to cart. So the first thing we need to do is have access to Cart Cubit itself, and also the product itself. Okay, so there's we can first have access to, make sure we have access to the Cart Cubit itself by using context.read. Okay, read, and the read type itself is cart and Cart Cubit. Okay, then because we don't need to watch here, we're just tapping and giving information to cart, so we don't need to watch anything that is happening. And also we need to have also the information of the product itself. Okay, product, I think it's called product model, and product. So this can be null, because product can be null, and we need just to make sure that. And then here we will use context.select. Okay, and then okay, I think it's product block itself. Instead we have this product. So here we will, this is another way of trying to if you want only one state to see, and to have the information of only one state, you can use context.select and then specify on that state what information you need only. So instead of reading the entire state. So with this we have that all the information we need. So on top, this is a function where we will interact with it. So if we want to check a couple of things, so if the product is not null, okay, and then okay, Codium is trying to give me completion, but it's failing to. No, come on. Okay, so we have these cart items which we use to identify how our model will look like, and then we generate the adapter for it for Hive itself. Here we need to pass all this information, and we have that from the product itself. So if the product is not null, then we will have access to the name of that product. We have access to the ID, and then we have access to the name, and then we have access to all the images, but we only want to take one, product image, dot first URL, okay, the first one, and then we get the entire the URL itself, and then we have product dot price, but here it is in the format of double, and we have the format of string, so we'll just have to double dot parse itself, and then inside we have product dot price, okay. And in quantity, when we add the item to cart, we just pass one quantity, and then in the cart itself you will be able to add more quantity for that product. And with this, we have the information. We can use Cart Cubit dot add to cart, and then pass on the cart data. So this will call the add to cart, and then we'll save, and then we'll refresh by pulling all the information and then emitting to the new state. And with that, the first thing is here. We will have all it will be in real time. We will have all the items, how many items in the cart, and all that. So we'll see how to deal with all this. Okay, and then so this is good. Okay, this is good. Now once we add, as a matter of fact, let's just test until here, and then we'll see. There's one more thing to do to just improve on the user experience. Okay, so let me run the app, and then we test this if it's working correctly, and then we'll add one last thing for user experience purpose. I've run the app, and let's see if everything that we've connected is working fine. So the first thing here is the cart icon, which shows the number of items added in the cart. For now it's 0 because we have no item. So let's test this and see. So, and also I add this scaffold messenger just to show the snack bar that, and when you click smartwatch, add it to cart. Okay, that's good. And when you go to cart, we see, and when we add 2 items, then the total will be $200. And as you continue to add, it will show also here the total. And we can go to Samsung also, and Samsung added to cart. We can go here now. There's 2 items. You can see if you add, it will be the total will come after by multiplying all the prices and the quantity of the whole product. But we are having some user experience issue. The first one is on this page itself. When we remove, let's say by this, and maybe we click this, the cart is empty, but still the user can see the cart. There's no need for user to see the cart page if there's no product inside it. So what we need to do is, when there's no product, we need to automatically redirect the user to the home page so we can continue to find more items. Okay, and also we've seen here, because on the home screen we have check if the cart state is empty, then the user doesn't need to go to the cart page. Okay, and also as there's one thing I need to show you. If I click smartwatch and I add the item to cart, and I go back to the maybe cart, I see it's there. But the problem is, if I click again, the items, you still see the add to cart button. So we need to make sure that if this items is already in the cart, meaning is already directly in the box, in the offline storage, in the cart box itself, we need to somehow notify the user that this item is you've already added this item on the cart. So we like blocking this button not to show anything or not to accept any kind of tapping. So that's the first thing we need to do. And then the next thing will be here. If there is no item, then the user needs to be directed back to the home page. So how can we achieve that? So we need to go to product detail itself, and here what we need to do is figure out a way that if this product is loaded and if this widget is loaded or is being rendered and we fetch the information of that product, we need also to find the mechanism to ensure that also on the cart itself, if this product is already in the cart, then the button itself doesn't need to do anything. Okay, so how can we achieve that? We need to loop through the entire cart and find if this ID is available on the cart itself, because remember we use product ID to add all the items. Okay, so here we add product ID is equal to product.id, and that comes from this. Okay, we need to loop all of those cart and check on all of the items if one of the items, if any of that items contain this ID, which we will have access because we pass this, then we need to notify the user that these items is already in cart, then, and also make sure the button itself is not tappable, meaning it is in a null state. So how can we do that? Now let's do this. The first thing we need to add is a UI state, just to manage the state inside of this page, and we will call bool added, and we will put it false so we don't have any initialization issue. And we need to have access also to the Cart Cubit itself. If we use this approach, and let's say, let me show you, we will have issues because this is only available inside the context itself, which means inside the build context. So how can we get, what will be the other way to get active access to the Cart Cubit itself? We use this approach. So you say Cart Cubit.get Cubit, and okay, we say BL off. This is because I have block extension BL off of Cart Cubit. Okay, remove this, and with this we can have access to the Cart Cubit itself and everything from inside it. So we can have access to Cubit.state, okay, and everything, and that's what we need. Okay, so this may be an approach if you want to manage everything outside the build context. Okay, now we need to create one function called, let's call it checkCart, and then after that we need to add it on init state. Okay, and what's going to do is every time we load this page, this function will run and we will handle everything that is inside here. So now what we need to do inside here is to loop through the entire cart state and see if any items if any item contains this ID. Okay, so let's see how to do that. And also after that we need to manage the bool this added. Let's put it on top here so we can see it. Okay, so let's do that. What we need to do is we need to loop through to loop the entire cart itself. So let's say how can you do that? We just define a variable found, and then it will be equal to the qubit qubit.state, and we'll have all these APIs for this which are available for arrays. And what we need is we see any, so just check if any satisfy this, then this items is available. Okay, so if any here is going to be product ID. Sorry, the Codium did the code completion, and this is exactly what I want. So what I'm saying, what we're doing here as well, we are looping through and check if any of the cart items contain this widget which contain this ID. So if any of the element dot product ID is equal to the ID that we are passing here, it is in a string, but this is in int, so we need to convert it if it's available. If any item is available based on this checks, then this item is available. Okay, so and then we say if found, we can say if found, then let's manage the UI here and then say added. So we want to just say this item is added, and else say set state, and then you can say added is equal to false. Okay, so that will do the trick. And then we also have to add it on init state, so every time we do that we will have to check. And also here, if the product is not equal to null, okay, and if is also the added is false, then you can do this. So what I want to do is just to move this in its own function. I just don't want it to be so long here. And what we will do, I can put it inside here and then just call it void submit to cart, and then paste this. Okay, and I just call it here. So what I want to do here is okay, they don't need to do here, they just put it, remove this. Okay, and what we're doing here is if added is false, then submit to cart, else keep it this don't keep the button null, so we don't need to place anything. And I think we have some parameter here. You can say text color. If it's not added, we can say colors.white. No, is it? If it's not added, then the text color will be white, else it will be black. But let me see the UI. So okay, now let's test this. And remember this will work even if the user closed the app, because the Cart Cubit always interact with the Hive, which store this in the offline. So let's refresh and see, and if everything is fine. Okay, so the items has been now if we click smartwatch, and I forget one thing here also. After notifying the user, showing the snack bar, we can keep the, also here we can say added to true. Okay, good. So it will add to cart, and then it will notify the variable added to true, and that we will use to keep track of what is happening here. And now if I click add to cart, smartwatch added to cart, okay, and the button is also gray, mean you cannot interact with it anymore. Okay, and I want to fix something here. Maybe we put, I remember we can say add text to add to cart. We can say also if it's okay, if it's added, say added or else. Okay, so yeah, so this is just to, so now if we go back and we go and you check, okay, this is okay, and then we decide to go back and then we check this item is not added to cart. But if we click smartwatch, this item is added to cart, so you will do nothing here. It's just to notify the user, okay, oh, so this is okay, I've added. Okay, then I can go and find the other product. Okay, so with this we just improved the user experience to ensure that our user doesn't confuse if he add this product or not. we will make sure we handle that for him. Okay, now the last thing here we need to manage is when you click this, the items, when you click out, it's still the ID at it. You are still there in the cart page. You are not supposed to be in cart page. So how can we do this? Let me do this quickly, and then can go to cart page. So here we will use the power of block listener. So we wrap this list view builder with block listener, and then we say this is cart Cubit, and then it is list of cart item. Okay, and then that's the type of the state. So here simply we're just saying on this is a listener. So what is we saying is if the Cart Cubit dot state dot is empty, then context dot go name, it will be app routes dot home view dot name. So that's it. So it will listen, and then this block listener always listen, and if this condition is true, it will handle the logic here. And this, if we do this, and if you add this item, Samsung added to cart, and then we go back, and then we go here. If we decide like I don't need it anymore, so I remove it, and also you'll be redirected back to the home view. So this is good, and I think you can learn a lot. We've used block listener, we've used context to select, we've used block selector, and we've tried our best also to use many, and also there are also many to come things that we can learn about block. So this, I think we're good, and the cart itself is good. Now add item to cart, and then go here and add this men's jeans added to cart, check the cart, the price and everything, and add to the price will be good. I don't need this should be remaining, and then the time, if I go here, the product is not available because we remove it, but if I click this product is available. And also I can add this, I just want shoes and the jeans, and here's shoes. Okay, now that's good. Now I think we're done with the cart functionality. Now the remaining thing is handle checkout, handle authentication, and handle orders itself. Okay, so let's continue with other feature to do before finalizing and moving on to another feature is on the main view. This is where we add and assign the block Cart Cubit to the block provider. So it means this you will have access to Cart Cubit and everything that is inside the app, because we wrap it above my material route. So we need to do something here. What we are doing is we want to call read all cart. So this, what we'll do is every time we'll run the app from the beginning, it will always check and on the cart itself, on the Hive cart itself, the Hive, if there's anything, and if there's any items that are stored there, then we will retrieve them, and then we will emit to the cart itself. So what with this, it means this is normally we're doing it every time we start the app. So with this, it means the offline capability will be good in terms of user experience. It means every time the user open the app, you will see how many items are available in the cart. Even if you close and open again, once you open the app, and then the read all cart will be called, and then we will get all items in the cart, and if they're available, we'll display them. So everything will be as if he added that. So if he added the cart items to cart today, and then you close tomorrow. When you open the app, everything will be the same because we're storing that in the offline, and then it means we don't have to call APIs or anything. So this is the last part. So read all cart, you call it on the launch of the app, and it will check if there's any items in the box. Okay.